I died at 3:47 p.m. Galactic Standard Time. At least that's what should have happened when my cargo hauler split open like a tin can 40,000 feet above Edenia 7. I remember the alarms, the cockpit filling with smoke, and thinking about Martinez, my co-pilot who didn't make it out of our last crash 6 months ago. I remember thinking this was karma. This was what I deserved. Then I woke up to the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. The being leaning over me had skin that glowed like moonlight on water. Wings, actual wings, spread behind it, translucent and shimmering with colors that don't exist in any human language. When it touched my forehead, I felt warmth spread through my chest, pushing away the pain from my cracked ribs. "You're safe now," it said, though its mouth didn't move. The words just appeared in my mind, soft as a lullaby. "Rest, Derek Hale. You've been through so much." I should have been terrified that it knew my name. Instead, I felt grateful, so pathetically grateful that tears ran down my face. "Thank you," I whispered, my voice raw. The being smiled. At least, I think it smiled. Its face was almost human, but not quite, like a painting where the proportions are just slightly wrong. "We're here to help. Your ship needs repairs, but we'll take care of everything. Just focus on healing." The next few days blurred together. They moved me to a crystalline structure that caught the light and scattered it into 1,000 rainbows. Other beings would visit, singing these wordless harmonies that made my bones vibrate in the most pleasant way. They brought me food, fruits that tasted like sunshine, water that seemed to wash away my exhaustion from the inside. I should have been asking questions. Where was my ship? How long would repairs take? Why were they helping a random cargo pilot who'd stumbled onto their world? But I didn't, because for the first time since Martinez died, I felt peace. That should have been my first warning. On the 4th day, I was strong enough to walk. My guide, the first being I'd met, who told me to call it Lyra, took me through their city. The architecture was impossible. Spires that seemed to defy gravity, bridges made of light itself. "How many of you are there?" I asked. "Enough," Lyra responded, those strange harmonics echoing in my skull. "We've been here for a very long time, Derek. Waiting." "Waiting for what?" "For people like you, people who need help." We turned a corner, and I saw him, a man, human, sitting in one of those crystal gardens. He was staring at nothing, a smile plastered on his face that didn't reach his eyes. "That's Chen," Lyra said. "He arrived 3 months ago. His ship is almost ready." I approached him. "Hey, I'm Derek, another crash victim, I guess." Chen's eyes slowly focused on me. "Derek, new arrival, day 4. His words came out flat, mechanical. "The angels are kind. They'll fix everything. Just wait, just wait, just wait." A chill ran down my spine. "Are you okay, man?" "I'm perfect," Chen said, and that dead smile never wavered. "The angels made me perfect. Soon you'll be perfect too. We'll all be perfect together." I backed away, but Lyra's hand on my shoulder stopped me. The touch that had felt comforting before now felt like a cage. "Chen's had a difficult journey," Lyra said. "He's still processing. You'll understand in time." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Chen's empty eyes, about how grateful I'd felt when I should have been suspicious. I pulled out my salvaged tablet, the only thing I'd grabbed from the wreckage, and found Martinez's final message, the one I'd been too guilty to delete. His face appeared on the cracked screen, recorded seconds before we crashed. "Derek, if you're seeing this, I didn't make it, but listen," Static interrupted him. "Beautiful traps are still traps. Don't trust—" More static. "They feed on—" The message cut off. I stared at those words. Beautiful traps. They feed on what? Outside my window, I heard them singing. Those harmonies that had seemed so soothing now sounded hungry. I started counting things the angels didn't want me to notice. The way Lyra always appeared exactly when I thought about leaving my room. How the food tasted a little too perfect, triggering pleasure responses that felt chemical rather than natural. The fact that in 5 days I hadn't seen a single tool, machine, or anything that looked like it could repair a starship. Most importantly, I counted the other humans. There were 7 besides Chen and me. All of them wore that same blissful expression, talking in that same flat monotone about how kind the angels were, how their ships were almost ready, how perfect everything was. Except one. I caught her watching me during the morning meal. A woman, maybe 40, with sharp eyes that tracked my movements. When Lyra turned away, she mouthed 2 words: "Play along." That afternoon, I pretended to enjoy the angels singing. I smiled and nodded when they told me my ship was progressing nicely. I even started using their language, calling them generous, calling this place paradise. And I hated how easy it was, how part of me wanted to believe it. That night, someone slipped into my room. "Don't react," Chen whispered, and his voice was completely different, sharp, alert, alive. "They're watching, but I've learned their patterns. We have 4 minutes." I kept my face neutral, staring at the ceiling. "You're faking it. For 2 months now. The others are too far gone, but you're different. I can see it. You're resisting them." He moved to my window, pointing at the sky. "See those stars? I've been mapping them. This planet isn't on any charts. We're way off the shipping lanes." "Why would they lie about where we are?" "Because nobody's coming to rescue us, Derek. Nobody even knows we're here." Chen's reflection in the crystal wall looked haunted. "I've explored this city. There are no repair facilities, no tools, nothing. Our ships are wherever they crashed, rotting." My hands clenched. "Then what are they doing to us?" "Feeding." Chen pulled something from his pocket, a shard of reflective crystal. "Look at your neck. Really look." I angled the shard, and my breath caught. Beneath my skin, barely visible, were thin threads of silver spreading from my spine toward my brain, like roots growing through flesh. "They put those in during the healing," Chen said. "Some kind of neural filament. The longer you're here, the deeper they grow. Eventually, they reach your frontal lobe, and then—" He gestured toward the window, where one of the blissed-out survivors wandered past. "Then you become like them, compliant, grateful, a perfect little emotion factory." Emotion factory? That's what I think they eat, not our bodies, our feelings. Hope, gratitude, relief. That's why they keep promising our ships are almost ready. They're farming the anticipation. His voice cracked. "I've watched 3 people get retired when the filaments had harvested all they could. The angels took them to the South Tower. They didn't come back." The 4 minutes were up. Chen's face went slack again, that artificial smile returning. "The angels are wonderful," he said loudly. "I'm so grateful for their help." Lyra appeared in my doorway. "Chen, you shouldn't disturb Derek during rest time." "I was just leaving," Chen said in that dead voice. As he passed me, his hand brushed mine. I felt paper. After Lyra escorted Chen away, I unfolded the note. South Tower, tomorrow, third sunrise. I found something that will break your heart, but it might save your life. Trust your guilt. It's the only thing keeping you human. I touched my neck, feeling those silver threads under my skin. The angels were still singing outside. And now I understood. They weren't singing to comfort us. They were calling us to dinner. The South Tower smelled like flowers and rot. Chen was waiting in the shadows, his fake smile gone. You came. Good. The angels are in their feeding cycle. We have maybe 20 minutes before they notice we're gone. He led me down crystalline stairs that spiraled into darkness. My tablet's light caught symbols carved into the walls, human symbols, names, dates, messages. Sarah Chen, Colony Ship Meridian, year 2024-7. If you're reading this, run. The beauty is a lie. They wear our hope like skin. 17 months. I can feel myself disappearing. Hundreds of them, thousands, carved by desperate hands over decades. How long have they been doing this? I whispered. Long enough to perfect it. Chen stopped at a massive door. This is what I found. This is what they don't want anyone to see. The chamber beyond was vast, and it was full of people. Not walking, not talking, growing. They were embedded in the crystalline walls like insects in amber, their bodies wrapped in those silver filaments. Their chests moved with shallow breaths, alive, conscious, their eyes tracking us with desperate awareness. Dozens of them, maybe hundreds, deeper in the chamber. This is where they put the ones who resist too long, Chen said quietly. The ones whose negative emotions become too toxic to harvest normally. So they trap them here, suspended, and feed on their despair for years. I stumbled closer to the nearest victim. A woman, her name carved into the crystal beneath her. Captain Linda Morrison, 2243. 4 years. She'd been trapped here for 4 years, screaming silently. They're all still aware, Chen continued. That's the point. Hope dies quickly. But despair? Despair is renewable. As long as they're alive and conscious, the angels can feed forever. My stomach turned. We have to free them. We can't. Chen's voice cracked. The filaments are integrated into their nervous systems. Remove them, and they die. Leave them, and this is their life now. I wanted to scream, wanted to tear the walls apart. These people had been here for years, decades, some of them, trapped in their own bodies, while monsters fed on their suffering. And then I saw the ships. Beyond the garden of victims was another chamber, dozens of vessels in perfect condition. Cargo haulers, passenger ships, military scouts. Not a scratch on them. They never repair our ships because they never damaged them in the first place, Chen said. Electromagnetic pulse brings us down clean. They've been doing this for at least 50 years based on the hull dates I've seen. I recognized corporate markings from companies that went bankrupt decades ago. Ships that were reported lost to space anomalies, pirates, mechanical failures. All of them here. All lies. Chen, how many people have they taken? He looked at the garden of trapped victims, then at the ships. Hundreds, maybe thousands if you count the ones who didn't survive long enough to be stored. The weight of it crushed down on me. All those people, all those families who never knew what happened. Like Martinez's family never knew. They thought he died in a simple crash on Kepler 7. Quick, mechanical failure. But what if? Derek. Chen grabbed my arm. I see what you're thinking. Your co-pilot died 6 months ago on a different planet. That wasn't them. That was just tragedy. Random and meaningless. This, he gestured at the horror around us. This is different. But was it? Or had the angels been doing this so long that crashes everywhere made me suspicious? Lyra's voice echoed through the chamber. You weren't supposed to find this, Derek. I turned. The angel wasn't glowing anymore. I could finally see what it really was. The thing wearing Lyra's face shed its illusion like skin. Beneath the glow was something ancient and horrible. Segmented chitin, compound eyes that reflected my terror 1,000 times, mandibles that clicked with anticipation. Not an angel, a mantis made of nightmares and stolen light. Your guilt was so delicious, it said, and now I heard the real voice, scraping, hungry, old. We've fed on it for 11 days. Martinez's death, your failure to save him, such rich, pure despair. More of them emerged from the walls, dropping their beautiful masks. The crystalline city was their hive. The singing was their hunting call. Chen grabbed my arm. Derek, we need to run. No. Something clicked in my mind. They fed on emotions through those filaments, which meant we were connected. I pressed my hands to my temples, to those silver threads spreading through my brain, and I stopped fighting the guilt. I let myself feel everything. Martinez's face as our ship went down 6 months ago. His last words. The funeral I couldn't attend because I was too broken. The dreams where I save him, only to wake up and remember I didn't. The weight of surviving when he didn't. All of it, raw and unfiltered. Then I shoved it through the filaments with everything I had. The angels shrieked. The sound shattered crystal, spiderwebbed the walls. They clawed at their heads as my anguish flooded their telepathic network. Decades of feeding on artificial hope and gratitude had left them completely unprepared for genuine, crushing grief. Chen, get the others, I screamed, driving the pain deeper into their minds. Get them to the ships. He ran while I burned. Every regret, every nightmare, every moment I wished I'd died instead. The angels had wanted to feed on my guilt in small, controlled doses. I gave them all of it at once. Lyra collapsed, the beautiful illusion flickering. Stop. You're poisoning us. Good. I dropped to my knees but kept the connection open. Around me, the trapped victim's eyes were widening. The filament network was collapsing. Some would die when it severed, but some might finally be free. Chen reappeared with 12 survivors stumbling behind him, the ones who weren't too far gone. The woman who'd signaled me earlier helped carry 2 others. There's a hauler with fuel, Chen shouted. Move! We ran through the dying city. Behind us, angels convulsed as their hive mind overloaded. I felt the filaments in my neck burning away, my body rejecting them now that I'd weaponized the very emotion they'd tried to harvest. The ship's engines roared to life. Through the viewport, I saw the crystalline city cracking apart, those trapped victims finally released into death or freedom. I couldn't tell. Chen set course for the nearest colony beacon. We need to warn everyone. Mark this planet as a kill zone. I was already recording everything. The ships, the victims, the angels' true forms. Evidence they couldn't deny. But as we broke atmosphere, I saw them. Dozens of other cities glittering across Edenia 7's surface. And in orbit, debris from even more ships, decades old. They've done this for so long, I whispered. The woman from earlier sat beside me, her eyes haunted. Will anyone listen? I touched the scars on my neck where the filaments had been. Then I thought of Martinez, of Captain Morrison trapped for 4 years, of all the families who deserved to know the truth. "They'll listen," I said, "or I'll make them." Martinez didn't get to expose this evil, but I would, for him, for all of them. The guilt would never leave me. But for the first time, I was glad it wouldn't.